thing on. What is up, guys? Zan Carver here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you guys came for the title of the video, I know what you guys want to hear about, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm running a little bit late. It's 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's leg day, time to die. So we're going to go hit some legs, and then we'll catch up in a little bit about the reason why, at ripe age of 23, I had to get on TRT. Let's go. Alright guys, that is a full leg workout. Nick and I just absolutely destroyed ourselves, and it took about 2 hours. I limped out of the gym. I am absolutely spent. Yeah, I'm gonna head home right now and get my post-workout meal in. Something I didn't do very well, which is a big reason why we're gonna have this conversation, is ensure that I have my diet in check and was checking off all the variables that I needed to have a healthy, balanced, sustainable diet. So we're gonna have that conversation in a little bit, but let's head home and get this meal in. All right, so I'm ready to eat my post-workout meal. This is something that I have gotten very good at over the last year or so, is this peri-workout nutrition concept. Something that I didn't quite do well when I was beginning to get into fitness and working out. I wasn't working out with food in me. If it was food, it was likely not the best food. And after my workouts, I was certainly not getting the best nutrition in. I was probably going to Moe's and eating a burrito and add queso and guac and all of these things. It was not healthy. It was definitely hurting my digestion. It was definitely hurting my performance. So, dietary things were not going well. When I first started lifting, I got a little bit smarter. Things started to get better, but I think my dietary track record was not up to what it should have been. Goddamn. So basically, I began as a fat kid growing up, and I was working out for sports, right? But I was also working out to stop being a fat kid. So I was malnourishing myself. I was constantly cutting and binging and cutting and binging. And honestly, all of my habits were really unhealthy. And I didn't realize that until after 2020, when I began prepping for a men's physique show. So I never actually did the men's physique show, but I did the whole prep, right? I did probably 18 weeks of dieting, and at the end of that 18 weeks, I was in the best shape of my life. Like, I was as lean as I'd ever been in my entire life. But I didn't have that much muscle underneath, and I really couldn't understand why. I played college football. I was strong. I squatted well over 400 pounds. I deadlifted over 500 pounds and was benching near 300 pounds. Yet my muscular frame was not as developed as it should have been, and I couldn't understand why. So I did this full diet, this full prep. Underneath, realized I didn't have that much muscle. I was then fatigued. I was not building as much muscle as I thought I should have. I wasn't able to burn as much fat as I thought I should have. Overall, I think my health was just compromised. I wasn't able to actually do the things I was trying to do to my body, and it wasn't responding the way I intended it to. So I realized that I couldn't sleep. I was losing my health. I wasn't understanding why my body was doing the things it was doing, and it was time to get checked. So I went to a doctor, and I asked the doctor to test my testosterone levels. That is all he did. He didn't test any other hormone. He didn't test any other levels of micronutrients, nothing. He tested my testosterone, and here's the results. I had to take a quick shower because I was smelling pretty raunchy after that workout, and I definitely needed to get into the shower. So I just did that real quick, but here were the results. So my testosterone free was 8.3 with a normal range of 35 to 155, and my total testosterone was 61 with a normal range of 250 to 1100. I was so grossly underneath the normal range that they actually thought that it was a fluke, that my test results weren't real. So after that, And because my doctor didn't necessarily give me the responses that I wanted in terms of how diligent he was and what he tested for, and basically just giving me answers, he sent me to an endocrinologist that wanted to see me in 2 months. So I would have had to wait 2 extra months before I found out what was actually going on and what was wrong. And I was not prepared to wait another 2 months to understand my body and understand why my levels were so low. So when I went to get the other test results, they were about the same but gave me a lot more dialogue. My total testosterone had increased from 63 to 119, and my free testosterone had increased to 18.1, which is still vastly lower than what the normal range is. And being that I was 23 years old, about to turn 24, I knew that this was not the levels that I was looking for, definitely not what I needed to be growing and sustainably getting healthier. So looking at these numbers and the other numbers that were factors in my levels, I'll read off some of them. My estradiol was 15, which is in normal range. The only other variable that was a bit higher was my cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And I definitely think that stress played a part of it. And I think because of my maybe lack of sleep, my lack of diligence on taking care of my sleep and my recovery, overtraining, and just basically having little regard for what my body needed, drove my cortisol levels high. So I think that 22.3 is actually a lower number than what my cortisol levels were prior to COVID, when I wasn't sleeping more than 4 hours a night and I was going into the city to go to work, and I would work 11, 12 hours a day, and I would go home and I would sleep for 4 hours, get up the next morning and train and do it all over again 4 to 5 times a week. So this became a very obvious variable where stress was an inhibitor in my ability to create testosterone in my body naturally. So I continued to get a couple different rounds of blood work just to ensure that we were seeing the changes based off of dietary changes I was making, like adding fats, different adjustments to my training to ensure I was getting more recovery, and also different adjustments to my sleep patterns to ensure that I was getting enough sleep. So after making these adjustments and testing for a few more weeks, I did see my testosterone levels go up a little bit, but it wasn't enough to move the needle for us both to be confident that my testosterone would get back into the normal range without any external help. So after evaluating all of these variables and taking a lot of different draws of blood, we started to understand that my testosterone levels were just simply way too low for where I am in my age, in my lifespan, and in my training and what my objectives are. I expressed to the doctor that I wanted to compete in bodybuilding, and I was not looking to do it in an enhanced way, but I did want to make sure that I was improving at a normal rate where I could actually see results based off the work I was doing. And we both came to the conclusion that maybe testosterone replacement therapy would be right for me. So in December of 2020, I began taking my first injections of testosterone. I was doing testosterone cypionate at 100 milligrams every other week. So I started doing that for a couple weeks, and at the end of December, I went and got my levels tested. And my testosterone total level went up to 886 nanograms per deciliter. And then my free testosterone went all the way up to 164.8. Now that is a huge jump. Obviously that is the high end of the normal range in the total. It is above the normal range for the free testosterone. So obviously there is a lot of bio-usable testosterone in my body that I'm able to use to build muscle, burn fat, and continue to progress in the gym physically. Now, does this make me unnatural? Now, my natural levels are up to the high end of the range, so things are at a higher level naturally, but I'm using a external substance to help me get to those natural levels. So I don't know if I would consider myself natural, but I would definitely say I am now not inhibited by my inability to naturally produce that testosterone. I am not at exorbitantly large levels of testosterone in my body, so therefore I don't think I have a competitive edge. I've now eliminated this limiting factor. Pause. Look at this background, man. Wow. I mean, here you got snow piles, literally banks of snow out here, but then you get these nice pretty skies. New Jersey, man, it's a paradox in and of itself. Why am I telling you guys about this? Basically, I want you guys to not make the same mistakes that I did. And if you're feeling fatigued, if you're feeling all of these feelings of lack of energy, you're feeling like things are not optimized, maybe you're not performing as well as you once did, it may be time to get checked. I don't think that everybody needs to get onto a TRT protocol. I don't think that anybody should be on any type of substance unless they, one, need it because their body is not properly working, and the other factors from diet, exercise, and recovery are all in check, but things are still not working. You should absolutely go and consult a doctor, make sure that the things that you're doing are being helped and aided, and the guidance of the doctor is allowing you to have a better quality of life. And I think that's why I went and did it, because I wanted to improve my quality of life and perform at a high level. Now, if you are going to compete at a high level, obviously you'll need to use these substances to get you to that next step. Still think that these types of things should all be monitored by a doctor regardless of what your objective is. So I will never say to anybody that they should get on any type of protocol without consulting a doctor that knows what they're doing, that can help you and guide you in the right direction to do all these things in a safe and controlled manner. So am I still doing 100 milligrams every other week? No, I'm actually doing 100 milligrams every week. Reason being, after 7 to 8 days, I feel the effects of the injection go away, and it's actually healthier to keep the levels in a consistent schedule, consistent plane, rather than allowing them to drop down and then come back up and then drop down. So I am keeping it consistent at 100 milligrams every Wednesday to ensure that I maintain these levels and maintain my health the best I can. So just trying to be very, very safe, cautious, being responsible with my body, because that is the most important for longevity. So I went back and got blood work one more time after I began the injections, and it was to see how much my levels would drop off after 2 weeks. So my total testosterone after 2 weeks was 542 nanograms per deciliter, and my free testosterone was 95.9. So I'm right in the middle of the range for both total and free, which is great, but my testosterone was spiking after injecting and then falling after 2 weeks after my injection. So we were having this factor of peaks and valleys, and what we decided is that we wanted to keep this more stable. To keep it more stable, I began injecting every single week to ensure that I would have stable levels of testosterone, both total and free, so that way I wasn't getting some of the side effects like acne coming out or spikes in my fatigue and dips in my energy, to ensure that all of my side effects were staying monitored low. So understanding that my testosterone was beginning to peak and then valley after 2 weeks, we decided to keep it stable with 100 milligrams a week. This seems to help me with maintaining high levels of energy, not fatiguing very often, and ensuring that other side effects like acne, which usually I would have regardless of the testosterone or not, because I've always suffered with acne, my acne seems to be monitored pretty well. So all of the things considered, still taking my acne medication, putting on topical creams, and keeping my testosterone high has helped me to keep my acne at bay, which is an awesome side effect of having it. So knowing that, I'd like to keep it consistent. So rather than peaking and valleying, keeping it consistent. So I'm sure you might be wondering, what are some of the side effects that I've experienced while being on testosterone? And if you haven't noticed already, I've grown a bit of a beard in the last 2 seconds, which really, I'm just filming this clip about a week later. So it literally just took me 1 week to grow this amount of facial hair, which obviously I understand is not substantial. I don't have this huge grizzly beard, and I don't expect it to be fully grown out, but right now what I'm doing is growing out the beard, and this is actually the most hair growth that I've experienced in my entire life. Obviously I correlate that with the amount of testosterone that's in my body, because this is the most hair growth that I've experienced, and that's an often side effect of having more testosterone in your body. Now, other side effects that I've experienced. Now, gym performance is an obvious one. I feel a bit stronger, feel a bit more energetic in the gym, which also is another out of the gym side effect, that I feel more energy outside of the gym. I feel more cognitively there. I feel more engaged. I sleep better. My fatigue is a lot less, so I feel like I don't lose energy a lot easier, right? So I feel like I can maintain levels of energy. Overall, I just feel better. I feel like my body is just performing better. You might ask, what are some of the negative side effects that I have experienced since beginning testosterone? And so far, nothing. You might expect something like acne. I'm already acne prone, right? So I take an oral acne medication that my doctor prescribed to me. I take a topical acne medication that I put on daily, and those things have helped me to keep the acne side effects at bay. And actually what I've noticed is that doing the injections on a bi-weekly basis has actually hurt my acne, where after about 10 days my acne would actually get a bit worse. But if I were to inject on a weekly basis, that way my testosterone stayed at a more equal level, it actually stayed pretty consistent, where I didn't see the fluctuations, right? So that's an adjustment that we've made, that I would do it on a weekly basis to avoid those fluctuations up and down. And that's actually been very, very helpful. So other than the acne, I haven't seen a lot of side effects. Not a lot of side effects that people would expect, like gynecomastia, which is the enlargement of the nipple where you get that fluid underneath the nipple. I don't get any of that, and I don't think testosterone is really a big contributor to doing that. Now, some people might even expect that testosterone would make me an angrier person or make me have a shorter fuse. Now, I'm actually a lot more calm. I have less anxiety. I feel less stress. I feel more energy, and I actually feel better. Now, not to say that this is an endorsement for doing it. What I'm saying is that where I was in terms of my hormonal levels, I feel a lot better. This has been an extremely added benefit to my life, and although it's something I have to commit to for a very long time, if not forever, it is a decision that I was happy to make. Now, I don't say that everybody should make it. I think if you have normal hormone production naturally, you should maintain that, and you shouldn't change that at all, and you shouldn't put that in jeopardy. So taking things like SARMs or other test boosters, things of that nature that can harm your natural production, you should stay away from those things as much as possible, because it really is not going to boost your testosterone the way you think it is. Not nearly the levels that you expect, and it's actually going to crash your natural production. So I would say, for those of you that are sometimes thinking you could be better, just go get tested. Find out if you're in the natural ranges, the normal ranges, and if you are, you're in a good spot. So just optimize those other things, diet, nutrition, whatnot, to optimize your performance. Don't go look for the magic pill. Magic pill doesn't exist. There are a lot of things out there that can help you or hurt you, and you have to choose wisely based on what your objectives are. That being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, find it informative, and know that although I am now taking testosterone and I am hopefully getting better and hopefully improving my body, my lifestyle, which I think I am, that you guys just understand that this is a lifestyle choice that I have made. Not everybody should make it. Not everybody is right to do it. And you should always just be educated about the things your body is experiencing and the things that you are experiencing, and just be intuitive about your body, because this is the vehicle that you run life through. And if you don't know about it, if you're not checking the oil, understanding the gas, understanding the amount of miles you put on it, if you're not understanding these things, you're basically just driving the vehicle and never looking at the gas gauge. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rants, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.